We're starting this morning off in the kitchen, getting you ready for the big game. We're just a couple of days from it, all taking place. And of course, it's a sporting event, but it is also, in my opinion, a huge food event. Everyone's planning those parties. Chef Shawne Shell from Brights Creek is here. You say you have a great recipe for us.
I do. Of course, you know, I'm all about everything Cajun.
Yes, and it smells so Cajun, so Nolans.
Nolans style.
So what are you cooking up over here?
We're going to make some crawfish dip today, and it's essentially a very simple dish to do. I've got my onions and which are green onions, and a little bit of celery in here. I'm sweating that off.
So good. Smells
and then
really good.
what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, this is just tricolor peppers, a little bit of jalapeno.
Red, yellow, green.
And red, yellow, green. Of course, you got it. It's all about the colors. We're going to put this in there. We're going to saute this off. Crawfish, you know, it's sometimes hard to get crawfish, especially, you know.
What's the difference between a crawfish and a crawdaddy?
Same thing, crawdaddy, crawfish. They all come from the same creek. Now the Latin word is astacoidea, which is astacoidea, which is the Latin name for crawdaddies or crawfish.
We all remember going down to the creek to get them. So.
Yeah, exactly. And then now they're very similar to lobsters. Now lobsters are a para-astacoidea, which is a little bit different from the same, pretty much from the same family.
I always love it. I get a Latin lesson as well.
Latin lesson, very well.
Okay, so we cooking all this up? Yeah,
we're sauteing this off. We're going to get a little bit tender. We're going to add a little garlic in here, maybe a little bit of the juice from the garlic.
Depending on your taste there, I would imagine.
And then I'm going to kick this up a notch.
So where did you find the crawfish from?
The crawfish now, again, that's one of the things that's kind of hard to find. You can't hardly at all find any fresh crawfish. That's one of those things that unless you live in New Orleans or near the coast, they're so perishable it's hard to get.
Okay.
But what I do have and what you can find are crawfish tail meat.
Okay.
It's pasteurized. It comes in like a 1 pound frozen container. I drove about 6 or 7 places last night trying to find crawdaddy tail meat, and believe it or not, I found it on the west side of town at the Walmart.
Look at that.
They have it in the freezer compartment.
Okay.
Now, what we're going to do is, as our vegetables saute down, we're going to add a little Cajun seasoning. You got to have a little spice in there.
Got to add a little spice to it if you're doing a Cajun dish.
And
we're about 2 minutes away. I want to make sure we get this. Is this a recipe you came up with?
Well, it's a recipe that I used to do a lot for parties and such and catering. Again, it's a wonderful dish. And
we're going to have this at the Shell House for the big game?
We are going to have it at the Shell House. Now I'm going to go ahead and add my crawfish tail meat to this.
And this is already cooked?
It's already pre-cooked, so all you have to do is just thaw it out. And you don't want to cook it too much because it will toughen up. And then to this, what we're going to do is we're going to add, this is right here, some softened cream cheese. We're going to add this in here too.
How much is that?
That's probably about an 8 ounce container of cream cheese.
And that's going to give it its creamy nature.
That's going to give it its creamy
crawfish.
And then we also have a little bit, this is just a low-fat sour cream. We're just going to add a little bit of this in there. And what you're going to do is you're just going to kind of incorporate all this together.
Get it nice and creamy there.
Exactly. And
so you just get it until you have a consistency that looks like a
a dip, exactly. And then I'm also going to add to this just a little bit of Parmesan cheese.
Look at that.
And then, of course, got to have salt and pepper. Ebony and ivory, got to love it.
I was waiting on him to do that. we got to have it there.
So a little salt and pepper.
How long would you say total time does it take to make this dish?
You know, it's probably about maybe 20 minutes. You do want to bake it in the oven with a little cheese on the top of it to finish it, and that usually takes probably the longest time. Now, of course,
he has to have his Tabasco.
Got to have some Tabasco. That's the way to work it. And then, again, you're going to see it's starting to incorporate.
It's starting to look like dip here. We're doing it right.
Dip it up. You know, it's all about deflate.
It's all about deflate.
They're in trouble.
Man. Oh man. Okay, so now we have some crusty bread over here.
Yes, what I have here is this is crostini bread, and then I have some. This is toasted pita bread, which I just did with a little salt and a little olive oil. And then once all this is incorporated, as you can see, what you're going to do is you're just going to take some of this. You're going to put it right in. Now this right here is you can bake with this container here. It's a heat.
Awesome. We're out of time, Chef Shawne, but just in time to look at this beautiful dish. If you guys want to get the recipe for that, Chef Shawne gave it to us, and we posted it already at our website, studio-62.com. A great addition to the big game. Who are you rooting for on our way out?
I have to go with the Seahawks all the way.
Okay, he said it. Thank you, Chef Shawne. You can visit him up at Brights Creek and brightscreek.com. We appreciate you.
Wonderful.